Hey, welcome to the Authentic Conversation series, and I'm so happy to have you. My name is Rakita. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the CEO of the Social Experience, where we help groups and teams build better relationships through conversation, reflection, and the discovery of commonalities so that teams bond quickly and they collaborate more effectively. So, I want to thank you for joining me today. If you are here and joining me live, I want you to say, "Hey, girl, hey." I want you to speak because look, we're my home office. So you know what that means? You got to speak when you come in my house. All right. I know your mama taught you better than that. So again, if you're watching me live, give me a "hey, girl, hey" in the chat because I want to know that you are here so that I can include you into the conversation. So, as you may already know, at the Authentic Conversation series, I have a special guest each week. However, everyone here is my guest. So I want to include you in the conversations with every question that we have. I want to make sure that you're also giving your answers and your insights because our special guest and I can't wait to talk to you. They're not just here for me, they're here for y'all too. Okay. So, to guide our conversations, like we do every week, we are going to be using the conversation cards from the social experience. Yes, because conversation cards are really great tools to help you dig a little deeper and expand some of the conversations that you have with others. And with the social experience, our conversation cards are always very reflective and meant to build connection. So I see my wife is here. Hey, Diamond. Thank you so much, baby. I'm always happy when you're here to join the conversation. So, hey, girl, hey. If we have anyone else who has joined us, please put "hey, girl, hey" in the chat. And as I wait for y'all to come through and speak, what I'm going to do is introduce our guest for this week. All right, so SJ, they use they them pronouns, is the founder and consultant of Empowered for Equity Consulting, where they work with schools, organizations, and parent groups on creating spaces of inclusion for everyone, but especially for LGBTQ folks. They're a former teacher and diversity, equity, and inclusion specialist. They proudly hold the following identities: transgender, non binary, queer, and multiracial. So I am so excited. I'm going to bring SJ to the stage and we're going to get our conversation started, y'all.
Hi,
Hey,
everyone.
SJ.
So happy to be here today. Thank you so much, Rakita, for having me.
I have been waiting to bring you to I really have because I follow you on Instagram and on LinkedIn, and I always love the beautiful and intentional content that you post. So I'm really excited to have you here today.
Thank you.
So, as always, we're going to start with our first question. So, I know Diamond's here for sure.
Mhm.
I always want to know what is bringing folks joy because I want to ground you in the space that we're in today. I want to set an intention of gratitude for this space today. And I also just want to get you in a good place to talk to me for the next 30 minutes. So, okay, what's bringing you joy today?
Yeah, I love this question. And I think I actually also you posted something like this a couple days ago, I think on Instagram, maybe on your story. And I put in the little question box sunshine because I feel like right now the sunshine is just giving me life in so many different ways. And I don't know, I never anticipate how rough winter is going to be. I live in Baltimore, Maryland, and the
Oh,
winter here is not super horrible anymore. I think, global warming and all that's going on. So it's not as bad as it used to be, but I think those, cold, dreary days just really get to me and they impact my spirit in a way that I never anticipate until that first day of spring when the sun is out and I go outside and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I'm really enjoying the warmer weather here, the sunshine. I hear the birds chirping, and
yeah.
everybody's just outside, and I just love it. So I'm really, really enjoying the sunshine, and that's bringing me a lot of joy.
I love that. I love that. And Is the sunshine always something that brings you joy, or is it something that hits you like right as winter is kind of fading away into the spring?
Yeah, I am not really a hot weather person. I'm from Texas originally, so I know hot weather and I'm used to hot weather. I
Right.
grew up in hot weather. And moving up to the East Coast, I was like, I'm finally gonna get a break from this. And it still gets hot up here too, but it's not as bad as it is because in Texas it's like you only have two seasons. It's like hot and a little less hot, right? So
Right.
don't really have all the seasons there, whereas here we do. So I wouldn't say sunshine is always something that brings me joy because a lot of the time it's like, ooh, the sun's out, it's going to be hot today. But specifically when we're going from winter to spring, it's like I just feel that energy, and it gives me energy to
Yeah.
go into things and be outside more. So yeah.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what's bringing me joy today, because we talked a little before this, and I admittedly was like, today is not one of my better days. But what is really bringing me joy today, I thought it was arm's reach away. So I have this guided journal by Tabitha Brown. I keep looking back so I see the name.
Mm,
It's called Seen, Loved, and Heard. And I spent some time with my guided journal, and I have this playlist that I made called You Got This Sis. And it's
mm,
to help me on days where I'm not sure if I have it, but it's a playlist that I made for myself to reinforce that you indeed do have it. So let's go do it. So I'm
yeah.
listening to my playlist and going through the guided journal. That is really what's bringing me joy today. I slowed down enough to give myself, to honor myself. Yeah, that's what's bringing me joy.
Mm. I love that.
Thank you. Let's get into the first question. I like to shuffle them up a little bit. Okay. Oh, look the other way. Okay, I like this question. It is, what is something that you would like to try for the first time again? And Diamond, I want to hear your answer about this as well.
Hmm. Something I'd like to try for the first time again. That's such a
Yes.
good question because I feel like there are so many times in my life when I'm like, I would love to experience that for the first time again. And so the thing that's coming to mind right now, there are a lot of things, but the first thing that came to my mind was meeting my partner.
Aw.
And I know that's like real sappy, but I we talk about our first date a lot, like pretty frequently. We talk about it because our first date was actually during like peak COVID time, so 2020 in the fall, and our first date was an outdoor date because we were both, taking COVID precautions very seriously, and so there weren't vaccines yet at that point for COVID, and so we our first date was on a hike. We took a hike. We're both outdoorsy people, to this lake that's near where we live. And she told me, "Oh, we're just going to go for a walk in the woods." So I was like, great. That sounds awesome. Sounds safe for COVID, all of these things. And the first thing that she asked me was, "Do you want me to come pick you up?" And for for me, I am not a very trusting person right off the bat. So I was like, who is this person that wants to come to my house that I've
Right.
never met in person before and pick me up? So I was like, no, I'll just meet you there because I was like, I don't know who this person is. I don't want them at my house yet. I don't know. And so that was the first thing that like I was like, I don't know if this person's just really caring and like wants to, ride together to this, or if this person's an axe murderer and is gonna put me in the trunk or whatever. So I was like, I'll just meet you there. And so we meet there, and she again had prefaced this with being like a walk in the woods. I had never been to this place before, this lake that we were gonna walk around, so I didn't know what the terrain was like or anything. So I'm looking cute, right? Like I have like a cute
Right.
outfit on. I have like jeans on because I was like, oh, a walk in the woods. That's probably like not an actual hike. It's kind of probably more chill than that. So I was like, I can wear
Yeah,
jeans and like
keeping it cute.
non-athletic shoes. Yeah. And I was like, I want to look cute. So, and then we get there, and this is like a hike. Like we're going up inclines. We're like going, it is more intense than I anticipated. And we're both wearing masks, even outside, because we were, again, being really safe. And so we're trying to hold a conversation. I'm huffing and puffing, and like the mask is not helping. And I'm not wearing the right clothes. So it wasn't great at that moment. But then we get to this big rock that overlooks the lake, and we sit down on the rock, and then we sat there and talked for like 3 hours, and just
Really?
like talked about life and talked about our families and talked about, just everything that was going on. And we just really bonded in that moment. And I mean, we could have stayed there even longer, but it was getting dark. And so we ended up heading back, and um, ended up, saying our farewells to each other, and planning to, have another date. And then it went from there. Of course, we're engaged now. And so, yeah, it was just an experience that was really special in the moment. But of course, looking back, I didn't know what was going to come of that. I didn't know,
Right.
that like we were going to end up, getting married one day. So I would love to go back and be able to like experience that, knowing what I know now. Because I think I maybe would have paid attention to a little bit more things, or I don't know, just like the vibe and stuff. So yeah, I think that's my answer.
Yeah, that sounds like a very beautiful vibe.
It
As you
was.
were as you were talking, my wife said they made me think of our first summer road trip.
Oh,
Yeah, and Laura from YouTube says
Laura's
that's
my
amazing.
partner, so
Laura!
she's tuning in.
I love that both of our partners are here. Oh my goodness, Laura, I'm gonna give my answer and I want to know. I'm serious, Laura. What is it that you would do for the first time again? Let me know. So, my wife said that made her think of our first road trip. So we started dating in 2020, like January of 2020. So by the
Mm,
time March came, we were like, okay, we're gonna do this thing. So
yeah.
by summer, we had taken a road trip to Orlando, Florida.
Mm,
We stopped a few places along the way, but this is what I would like to do for the first time again. Knowing everything that I know exactly as it was, that was the first time we had gone kayaking, like both of us
mm.
together. So we did Diamond find this? Diamond, correct me if I'm wrong. One of us found this experience on like Airbnb experiences. So that's how we found
Mm.
it. It was like this cool, clear kayak canoe hybrid, and it was like a
Oh,
tandem one.
that's
So
cool. Yeah.
yeah, we were able to do it together, and we had a guide.
Mm.
Yeah, we had a guide to help us. So, um, there was another like two friends who did it, but for in my mind I was like, this is our private tour. Our guy was had a master's degree in horticulture, and we just learned so much about the environment and the space, and now we love to kayak in the summer. So that is what I would like to experience for the first time again.
I love that. Yeah. I feel like kayaking together for the first time can either be a really good experience or a really bad experience, because you have to communicate, right? Like I feel
Yeah,
like I remember going on like a similar kayaking experience once, and the guide being like, you're either this could make or break relationships kind of thing. Like you can
yeah,
either like love each other after this, or you can be like, we're breaking up because we can't communicate on, which way we need to steer and all of that. Because it can be stressful, to
yeah.
do that together. But I'm glad yours turned out well.
Yeah, we do pretty well together. And yeah, Erica, you got to check out Airbnb experiences. A lot of smaller businesses will list their businesses there. We did a bike
Mm.
riding tour in New Orleans from an Airbnb experience, and we were the only two there. So whenever
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
whenever I'm somewhere with Diamond and we're the only two there, I'm like, oh my God, baby, thank you so much for renting out a whole space for me. It makes me feel very special. So, yeah, I love all of this engagement that we have in the comments. I'm going to pick our next question, and I would love for answers from all of these folks because I want to learn more about the folks watching. And I'm glad you're here, Tanya. Hopefully, you can get in on the next question. So, let's see. Ooh, I love this one. What new family traditions have you started?
Mm. That is a really good one. So a little bit of context. I am not connected to my like biological family really at all. My older sister and I are in contact and are closer now, but I don't speak to my parents or my other sibling. And um, when that all kind of went down, it made me really sad because I was like, I don't have someone to like have a family with, you know, it kind of felt that
Yeah.
way. And I was like, what about all these like family traditions that I'm used to doing around holidays or, you know, my birthday or different things like that. And I felt very kind of isolated in that experience. And then when I met my partner, I was like, this is great. Like we can kind of, you know, take both of our family traditions and start doing them and then create new ones. And I remember my therapist at the time being like, "This is such a great opportunity because now, you know, you and Laura can create your own, you know, traditions that you want to do as a family."
Yes.
And that was a really awesome realization for me. But also, yeah, we have started doing a couple of things. So we do try to go back and do that hike from our first date pretty
Yeah.
regularly. We try to at least once a year. We haven't done it in a while, but we do try to go back and do that sometimes. So that's like a tradition around our anniversary, which is in September. We try to go and do that. So that's a tradition. Trying to think of what else we do. We usually also take a family trip in the fall. We're both big fall people. We both
Okay.
have fall birthdays, and so and our anniversaries in the fall. So we usually try to take a trip in the fall, usually like September, October. We take a trip together. Um, we went to we just went to New Mexico where we got engaged in January. So that was supposed to be our fall
Okay.
trip, but it kind of got dragged into winter, but that was fine. But yeah, so we usually do a trip. We try to go back to our first date site every now and again. Let's see, around holidays, we kind of merge our family traditions together and do that. What else have we figured out? Yeah, that's all
Just
that's coming to mind right now. Oh
appetizer.
yeah, yeah, we do an appetizer dinner on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
That's something that my family used to do, where we would, you know, since we're all like eating a ton on Christmas Day, we would always the night before we would make appetizers and have that as dinner. And so that's another thing that we do tradition wise. Thanks for adding that, honey, in the chat.
Laura has your back. Okay.
Yeah.
So, new family traditions. Tanya says family movie night with the kiddos every Friday night. We pick a
I love
movie,
that.
pop some popcorn, snuggle on the couch, and enjoy slowing down together. When we have guests visiting, they join too. I love that. Let's see. Coach Lee says, I can relate to not being connected with family. I'm a family pattern breaker, so I have to make new traditions. I,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Coach, I am not very close with much of my immediate family. I have lots of chosen family. And for that reason, I also have my own traditions because I deserve to celebrate and have great memories around the holidays as well. So, one tradition that I started kind of on my own, and Diamond and I have incorporated it within our little family and then also within her own family, is I eat cinnamon rolls for breakfast on Christmas.
We do that too. You just made me think of that, but we also do that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think growing up for Christmas, I would go to my grandparents' house and my granny would be cooking dinner all day, and we just didn't always eat
Mhm.
breakfast, or we just kinda had to just
Yeah.
get it how we live. So, as an adult, I wanted cinnamon rolls, so I would just go to the freezer section and find something I could pop in the oven, but
Yeah.
then Diamond is a baker, so Diamond bakes me homemade
Mm.
cinnamon rolls, and now that I am reluctantly gluten-free, she also makes me gluten-free homemade cinnamon rolls now.
Oh, I love that.
We have so many people in the chat today. This feels so good. I can't forget
Oh.
Rika. Rika's like one of my A1, my day one A1s. Okay. Trying a new restaurant every month is a new tradition that they have started. I think it's important to start new family traditions, especially when you have your own family, because now you and
Mhm.
Laura need things, or Diamond and I need things. And
Yeah.
also because there can be such bad memories tied to the holidays for some of
Mm.
us. And to create these
Absolutely.
new family traditions to make you feel good is really important, and I'm so glad that so many people have done that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I think we have time for, like, one more question, let's see. Ooh, okay, the next question is, what is something that comes naturally for you?
Mm. Something that comes naturally for me. I think this like ties completely into what I do with my life and what I'm passionate about. But I think for me, something that comes really natural is being a teacher, and being an educator of people. I
Yeah,
think I didn't always want to be a teacher when I was growing up. I had dreams of being a veterinarian, and I suck at math. So I was like, when I hit like high school age, I was like, I'm never gonna be able to be a vet because I can't pass the tests that I need to be able to do that. So I'm a big animal lover. So I always wanted to be a vet, but that dream kind of died after I realized there's no way I'm going to be able to pass the tests that I need to be able to do that. And so
right.
I kind of, went back to the drawing board about what I wanted to do. But when I became a teacher, people always used to ask me, "Oh, did you always want to be a teacher? Was this something that you always dreamed of doing?" And I was kind of like, "No, not really." But I kind of found my way to it, and I think I've always just had this like natural inclination of loving learning, one, and hoping to inspire others in that way by talking to them about different topics and learning about different things together. So I think for me, being a teacher and being an educator and just being really passionate about learning and education has always come
Yeah.
really natural to me. I was really into school as a kid. I was very shy, so I wasn't the kid that was like raising my hand all the time wanting to answer questions, but I was very
Really?
studious. I was like nose in a book, like very much into school. And then as a teacher, I was very much into, helping my students, become what they wanted to become in life and helping inspire a love of learning in them as well. And then now in the work that I do, I work with educators and I also love doing that because I love education so much. So I think that's something that has always come really naturally to me is to want to share my love of learning with others.
Yeah, I love that that comes naturally for you, and you're also really passionate about it.
Hmm.
Um, my wife says doing all kinds of puzzles and tutoring kids in math and science and baking. So, like, Diamond could have helped you become a better.
Diamond could have helped me. Maybe I would be a vet right now if I would have had Diamond in my life. There's still time, Diamond. I
There's
can
still
still get tutoring from you.
time. So, Tanya says facilitating or reading a room both comes
Hmm.
naturally to her. Yeah, that comes reading a room comes very naturally to me as well.
That's a good skill to have because sometimes the energy really matters, right? In a room, like being
Yeah,
able to tell when it's off or when just something needs to be changed, or yeah, I think that's a real skill.
Yeah, it is. And Rika is a photographer, but what comes naturally to
Mm,
them is connecting with others.
yeah, which is important in being a photographer, right? Because even though you're behind the camera, you're still capturing people in a way, and the connection with that is really important.
Yeah. So one thing that comes really naturally to me is music.
Mm.
I just feel so connected to music. And I have a bachelor's degree in vocal music and philosophy, actually.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I talk about it sometimes. But well, this is the thing. Like when it comes to music, I'm glad you think that is cool, Laura. Wh- When it comes to music, I don't feel like I am naturally talented in the technical aspects of music.
Mm,
Um, yeah, Rika, I can sing. And going into college, I did not know how to read music when I went into college. So that part was a struggle. But singing, picking up melody, being able to recite songs, um, and music in the ways in which I see it and hear it. Like I love to create playlists with the different themes, and I'm thinking about the different chords and the cadences and the way that these key signatures will affect mood and things of that nature. So I'm really
mm,
connected to some of those aspects of music. Had I known more music therapy, probably would have been more of a major that I would have picked instead of
yeah.
singing. And Rika, I am retired, so I will not be singing. I'm not warmed up today, but if you catch me on a day where I'm warmed up, you might be able to hear something. Today ain't the day though. Today is not the day.
I feel like probably whenever you tell people that you majored in that, they probably are like, "Let's hear something." Like that's probably like always the question that comes after that. So I probably would be reluctant to like tell people that too, because you can't just be singing everywhere. I mean, I guess you can, but
Yeah, it just depends on how much time I have to talk about it. Cause I say
yeah,
that, I love to sing and I got this degree in singing and philosophy, but I learned most of the things that I utilize in my everyday world, outside of the classroom when it comes to college. So
yeah.
I don't always talk about it, especially since I don't sing.
Mm.
Can we get a social experience theme song? Erica, you know what? You always got ideas for me. And if you help me write it, we might be able to have it. Okay. So some other people mentioned some things that comes naturally to them. I'm so glad that my cousin is here. My family is present.
Oh.
And Connie says
Mm.
gardening comes natural to them. Okay, cousin, I'm gonna be on your line this summer after I move into the house because I want my garden back. Okay, SJ. So I am so thankful that you came here to converse with me today. I have been dying to have a one-on-one with you, and it's actually our first time chatting with each other one-on-one, isn't it?
Hmm. Yeah.
I love this. So, did you enjoy yourself today?
Oh, absolutely. I could have gone on for hours and hours with the cards.
Yeah.
And I can talk. So I can talk for a long time. So thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure. And I really have enjoyed, getting to know these things about you that I did not know. The singing thing came out of nowhere. But yeah, I've really enjoyed myself. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. And before I let you go, what is it that you are promoting right now for Empowered for Equity Consulting?
Yeah, thank you for giving me a little spotlight for that. So, for folks that are watching and folks that are watching the recording later, I have a consulting business called Empowered for Equity Consulting, where I work with schools and organizations and parent groups and summer camps and all kinds of different places on creating more inclusive spaces for everyone, but especially for LGBTQ plus folks and students and kids. So that's really what my passion is. And I do that through workshops, trainings, speaking engagements, technical support, different things like that. And so I am currently booking workshops and speaking engagements and trainings for the summer time and also for fall 2024. So that's more for school-based folks. So like back to school professional development. So I'm currently booking for that. You can find out more about my offerings on my website or join my email list, which you can also do on my website, which is up on the screen very conveniently. And also, I just wrote and launched an ebook for parents of transgender kids. That's called Transparency: How to Advocate for Your Transgender Child at School. So if you know anybody that could benefit from that, send them my way, send them to my email list. You can also follow me on Instagram at Empowered for Equity, where I create content there, and on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn is just my name. You can type that in and find me there. But yeah, I think that's all of what I have to share there. But I hope to connect with all of you in some way, shape, or form outside of this space.
You know what? It was really great to have you today. What made today even better was the fact that I got you and Laura as a package deal.
Yeah. Listen, Laura is my biggest cheerleader always. And so anytime I have something and she can go to it, which doesn't really happen that often because a lot of the time what I do is like with schools or with other organizations. So she's not invited to that, obviously. But anytime there's something public that she can go to, she's in the chat, she's hyping me up, she's supporting in every way possible. So I'm glad she's here too.
I love that so much. So, SJ, I'm gonna go ahead and take you off the stage, but please stay because we have to finish our conversation, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Bye,
I will
everyone.
before you leave, Laura says that she loves you.
Love you, honey.
That was so fun. It felt so great to talk with SJ today because, admittedly, so I have not been having the best day today. And to be honest, I was in tears before I came on stage because it was just really rough. And sometimes pushing through can be hard. However, I'm so glad I had this time scheduled with SJ because this conversation really filled my soul. Like, I went from crying to laughing from the pits of my soul today. And it really just came from a really good conversation that was sparked by some really thoughtful and intentional conversation prompts. And that's what the Authentic Conversation series is here for. And if you would, I know for YouTube, I went ahead and put the link to join my email list. I really want you to be here, be in the conversation, and be with me because you never know which conversations will light your life and light up your soul. So I'm really glad that everyone is here today. Please join me next week. I don't have a special guest next week. So that means that you and I get to spend some time together. As much as I love connecting with my friends, my colleagues, and folks that I love, it's also time for you and I to get some one-on-one time together, to get some intimate time together, and for you to ask any questions that you might have for the social experience, the conversation cards, or for me. So, yeah, we're going to get personal next week. So, please join me next Wednesday, same place, same time. And as always, just live in what's bringing you joy today. So, thank you so much for joining me, and y'all have a wonderful day.